أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله تعالى فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له شهادة نرجو بها النجاة يوم لقاه، يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. وأشهد أن محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله وصفيه وخليله وخيرته من خلقه أجمعين. بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الله به الغمة وجاهد في سبيله حتى أتاه اليقين. فصلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه الكرام وعن من تبع هداه واستنى بسنته وسلم تسليما كثيرا. يقول المولى عز وجل في محكم التنزيل: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ويقول الله تعالى أيضا: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. أما بعد، Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala sent down the Quran to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam to be a mere means of guidance for mankind. So when we read the Quran, we see there are historic events. We see there is information about current lifestyle circumstances, and we see news of what is yet to come in the future. We know about Jannah and Nar. And also, Allah Ta'ala, He narrated to us stories in which we can use as examples or parables. So, Allah Ta'ala, He says, نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. We have narrated to you the best of stories. Why? To use as guidance. Now, the miraculous elements of the Quran is that these lessons that we derive from these stories are endless. No matter the time we are in, we can always derive new lessons, and this is because the Quran is Kalamullah. This is because the Quran, the author of the Quran, is also the King of the universe, the first, the last, the master of the Day of Judgment, Allah Jalla Jalaluhu, His Majesty. Saying all this, we should learn how to worship Allah Ta'ala. We should know and learn how Allah wants us to deal with Him. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says, لو أنكم تتوكلون على الله حق توكله. If you were only to depend upon Allah, His true reliance upon Allah, لَرَزَقَكُمْ كَمَا يَرْزُقُ الطَّيْرُ. And this is an interesting example. He says He will provide for you the same way He provides for the birds. They leave their nest hungry in the morning and they come back full. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have honored the son of Adam, the humans. Allah has honored us. Yet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was speaking about rizq, he uses a bird as an example. Is the bird better than the human? Kalla. However, as humans, Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed us with intellect. He has not blessed any other animal. But still, the bird leaves the nest in the morning with reliance upon Allah, with no doubt that Allah Ta'ala will provide for him, no doubt. And Allah answers this by providing for him. Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. Allah says, there is no animal, no human, no jinn, no creation of Allah on earth except it is Allah who provides for him. And we take the examples from the stories of the Quran of how to have tawakkul on Allah. Because Allah wants us to have full reliance on Him, no matter the circumstances we are in. Allah Ta'ala says, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Allah says, whoever fears me, whoever fears Allah, is conscious of Allah, He will find a way out for him in his problems. Is that it? No. وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And He will provide for him through means which he did not expect. Not only will He save you, not only will He find a way out for you, but He will provide for you through means you did not expect. And in the following verse, He says, وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And whoever relies upon Allah, whoever depends upon Allah, fully depends upon Allah, Allah is sufficient for him. That is all you need, Allah, to have dependence upon Allah. Now, if we look at the story of Musa alayhi salam, from the beginning to the end, from the day he was born until the end, it was all trials and tests, and it was all revolved around tawakkul. It was all revolved around having reliance upon Allah. Tawakkul means reliance upon Allah, dependence upon Allah. From the moment Musa alayhi salam was born, he was already under threat. His life was already under threat. From who? Fir'aun. Fir'aun wanted to kill all the males from Bani Israel. And Musa alayhi salam was from Bani Israel. So Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَى أُمِّ مُوسَى أَنْ أَرْضِعِيهِ فَإِذَا خِفْتِ عَلَيْهِ فَأَلْقِيهِ فِي الْيَمِّ وَلَا تَخَافِي وَلَا تَحْزَنِي إِنَّا رَادُوهُ إِلَيْكِ وَجَاعِلُوهُ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says to the mother of Musa, and we inspired to the mother of Musa to feed him. And if you fear for his life, then throw him in the river. Now look at the irony. Look at the irony. If a mother wants to keep her child safe, the last thing she will do is throw him in a river. Not only a river, but the river Nile. If you look at the river Nile, it's one of the strongest, one of the angriest rivers, one of the strongest currents. So Allah is testing her. Allah is testing her tawakkul. Do you have tawakkul on Allah? So she did this. She put him in a basket, put him under the care of Allah, after depending upon Allah, in the river, and told Musa's sister to follow him. Still worried. And then the current took Musa alayhi salam to where? Fir'aun's palace. Right to the place where the Fir'aun wanted to kill all the babies of Bani Israel. Who took him in? Asiyah bint Muzahim radiyallahu anha, who the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned her in the 4 of the best women. Asiyah bint Muzahim, the wife of Fir'aun, was named by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam as one of the 4 of the best women. Now, Asiyah, she took him in and she immediately loved him. Why? Because she was trying for many years to have a baby, but Allah did not allow it. And look at the hikmah, look at the wisdom of Allah. He did not allow this because He was going to send her a prophet right to her doorstep, Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam then grew up in the palace of Fir'aun until he reached as a young man. And we know the story of Musa alayhi salam. He accidentally killed a man, and he feared for his life. So eventually he had to escape Egypt. When he escaped Egypt, he spoke to Allah. I'm shortening the story because we want to talk about the element of tawakkul. So Musa alayhi salam, then spoke to Allah, and Allah tells him, "You are now my prophet." He, Musa alayhi salam, left Egypt, fearing for his life. Now Allah is telling him, "You are my prophet." And what was the first command of Allah? Go to Fir'aun. And Musa responded and said, "I am afraid. I killed someone. I am afraid of my life." What did Allah say to him? إِنَّنِي مَعَكُمَا أَسْمَعُ وَأَرَى. He said, Allah said, "Do not be afraid. I am with you. I hear everything and I am watching everything." إِنَّا قَالَ لَا تَخَافَا إِنَّنِي مَعَكُمَا أَسْمَعُ وَأَرَى. Go to Fir'aun. Do not have fear because I am with you. Us. Now Musa alayhi salam with his brother Harun, they now face the strongest, most powerful force on the face of the earth, Fir'aun. And he is telling him, "You are not God, Allah is Allah. Allah is God." So problems happened. Eventually, again, I'm cutting the story short. The story of Musa is very long and detailed. We need more than one khutbah to properly touch on the story of Musa. Eventually, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala told Musa, "Take Bani Israel, take the ones who believe with you, and leave Egypt." Leave Egypt. So what happened? Fir'aun and his army followed them. Fir'aun and his army followed Musa alayhi salam and the weak people of Bani Israel. Now they leave Egypt and they're faced with, in front of them, a huge sea, the Red Sea, in front of them. And behind them, Fir'aun and his army. فَلَمَّا تَرَاءَ الْجَمْعَانِ قَالَ أَصْحَابُ مُوسَى إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ. Allah says, when the two sides met, the side of Musa and the side of Fir'aun, the companions of Musa, they said, we are finished. إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ. We are intahina, we are finished. Why? Because in front of them is a sea. They cannot swim the sea, they will drown. They cannot go back because they will be killed by Fir'aun and his army. What did Musa alayhi salam, the prophet who has witnessed firsthand the reward of having tawakkul on Allah? قَالَ كَلَّا إِنَّ مَعِيَ رَبِّي سَيَهْدِينِ. Musa says, no way we are finished. Why? Because Allah is with me, He will guide me. When he said this, Allah Azza wa Jal says, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ أَنْ يَضْرِبْ بِعَصَاكَ الْبَحْرَ فَانْفَلَقَ فَكَانَ كُلُّ فِرْقٍ كَالطَّوْدِ الْعَظِيمِ. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and then we revealed to Musa to hit the sea with your stick. And when he did this, Allah said, we split the sea, and each wave was like the size of two great mountains. Allah split the sea for Musa alayhi salam. Not only this, of course we know when water is mixed with sand, it becomes moist and heavy and thick. So Allah says we made the ground yabasa. We made the ground hard for him to walk on peacefully. So Musa alayhi salam he crossed the sea and safely crossed the other side. Looking behind them, following them is Fir'aun and his army. What did Musa alayhi salam do? He began to hit the sea. Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala revealed to him, Ya Musa, it was not your stick that split the sea. It was my qadr, it was my powers, it was my greatness which split the sea. This is a lesson for us. We think that it is our actions which causes the qadr. This is only a means. Allah allowed it to happen. Allah didn't need to tell Musa it was my power. What Allah wanted to teach us is not your shrewdness, it is not your intelligence which allows things to happen. Because how many people, they are in the same job as you, the same qualification as you, but they are in a higher rank than you? How many people are in the same business, same street, but one is doing better than the other? Because it is not you, it is Allah who provides for you. How many people, they, in the same course, one's working very, very, very hard, one's doing a little bit of work, the one who does a little bit of work gets top marks, and the one who's trying his best gets average. Why? How can this happen? Because it is the qadr of Allah. Allah chooses, Allah is the one who provides. And this is how we should think, that everything we have is from Allah wa ta'ala. So never sell your deen for the dunya, because your rizq is already written for you. No matter how much more sa'i you do, this is not linked with the amount of rizq that you get. If you work more, does not mean you will earn more and more. If you have more tawakkul on Allah, this is definitely a means. Because Allah wa ta'ala says, وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever depends upon Allah, He is sufficient for him. No need to look right and left. Look at the story of Musa. In front of him is a sea, Red Sea. You cannot swim to safety from the beginning of the shore to the end. You will not last. And behind you is an army wanting to kill you. He says, Kalla, inna ma'i rabbi sayhidin. Allah is with me. No way Allah will let me down, because I have tawakkul upon Him. And we find this in many stories. The story of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam, as we know, when he was about to be thrown into a blazing fire, one narration says they spent days building the fire. The fire was so big and so hot, they had to throw him with a catapult. the catapult, it's a weapon they use to throw to break down buildings. They put Ibrahim alayhi salam in this to throw him. At this moment when they're about to put the rope, Jibreel came to him and says, what shall I tell Allah? Quickly tell me, what do you want? He says, from you, nothing. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is sufficient for me. Allah knows what I want. Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. From this word, Hasbi Allah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is sufficient for me. Allah is sufficient for me. From this word, Allah made the fire cool for Ibrahim. Not only cool, but peaceful. It was said the only thing that was damaged was the ropes that was tying him on his hand and face. That's the only thing. Allah saved him because of his pure tawakkul upon Allah, reliance upon Allah. Remember the hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. لو أنكم تتوكلون على الله حق توكله. If you are only to depend upon Allah, His true reliance, the way He deserves, He will definitely, without any doubt, provide for you the same way He provides for the birds. The birds leave their nest without any doubt. When they leave in the morning, when you leave in the morning, you have no doubt that Allah will provide for you. And Allah always answers this because Rasulullah completes the hadith by saying when they return to their nest full. They leave hungry and tawakkul and having tawakkul, and they come back and they're full. So never sell your deen for the dunya. Never leave your salah because you think you want to do more work. Never leave Allah wa ta'ala and sell Him to please the creation, because you will never ever find success like this. There's one hadith which means that if you upset Allah to please the creation, Allah will be angry with you and make the people hate you. And if you upset the people, if you let the people down in order for reason to please Allah, Allah will love you and will make everyone around you love you. Why? Because Allah is the turner of the hearts. Allah is muqallib al-qulub. Allah is one who can make someone love you and hate you. And love and hate is within seconds. Within seconds you can hate someone, within seconds you can love someone. Amr ibn As, radiallahu anhu, he says, there was a time when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was the most hated man to me. And after Islam, he says, and this time, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was the most beloved man to me. Imagine being from one end of the spectrum to the other end. Because Allah is the turner of the hearts. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to have the full reliance upon Him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide for us through means we do not expect, and provide for us through means we do expect. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to see the haqq, the truth, and to follow it. And may He allow us to see the evil and avoid it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure everyone who is ill in our families and our friends. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow them to see عافية. آمين يا رب العالمين. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه وتوبوا إليه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين وأشهد أن محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. يقول المولى عز وجل في محكم التنزيل إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد في الأولين وصل وسلم وبارك عليه في الآخرين وصل وسلم وبارك عليه حتى ترث الأرض ومن عليها وأنت خير الوارثين. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا برحمتك شر ما قضيت إنك سبحانك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك اللهم ارحم والدينا كما ربونا صغارا، اللهم ارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا، اللهم ارحمهم برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء. اللهم اشف كل مريض من المسلمين، اللهم انزل عليهم عافيتك وعافنا واعف عنا معهم يا رب العالمين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على نعمه يزدكم ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.
الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
So I tell you, if you see any gaps, make sure you fill the gaps. Rasulullah says, whoever fills a gap in the salah, Allah will fill a gap in his life. And whoever breaks or creates a gap, Allah will create a gap in his life. Inshallah, Asr will be 1:40. Inshallah, we will pray at 1:40. Allahu Akbar. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا وإذ قال موسى لفتاه لا أبرح حتى أبلغ مجمع البحرين أو أمضي حقبا فلما بلغا مجمع بينهما نسيا حوتهما فاتخذ سبيله في البحر سربا فلما جاوزا قال لفتاه آتنا غداءنا لقد لقينا من سفرنا هذا نصبا قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أذكره واتخذ سبيله في البحر عجبا قال ذلك ما كنا نبغ فارتدا على آثارهما قصصا فوجدا عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة من عندنا وعلمناه من لدنا علما قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا وكيف تصبر على ما لم تحط به خبرا قال ستجدني إن شاء الله صابرا ولا أعصي لك أمرا قال فإن اتبعتني فلا تسألني عن شيء حتى أحدث لك منه ذكرا فانطلقا حتى إذا ركبا في السفينة
أم إمرا قال ألم أقل إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا قال لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا فانطلقا حتى إذا لقيا غلاما فقتله قال أقتلت نفسا زكية بغير نفس لقد جئت شيئا نكرا قال ألم أقل لك إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا قال إن سألتك عن شيء بعدها فلا تصاحبني قد بلغت من لدني عذرا فانطلقا حتى إذا أتيا أهل قرية استطعما أهلها فأبوا أن يضيفوهما فوجدا فيها جدارا يريد أن ينقض فأقامه قال لو شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا قال هذا فراق بيني وبينك سأنبئك بتأويل ما لم تستطع عليه صبرا سمع الله لمن حمده الله الله الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين أما السفينة فكانت لمساكين يعملون في البحر فأردت أن أعيبها وكان وراءهم ملك يأخذ كل سفينة غصبا وأما الغلام فكان أبواه مؤمنين فخشينا أن يرهقهما طغيانا وكفرا فأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما خيرا منه زكاة وأقرب رحما وأما الجدار وكان تحته كنز لهما وكان أبوهما صالحا فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا كنزهما رحمة من ربك وما فعلته عن أمري ذلك تأويل ما لم تسطع عليه صبرا. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله 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 السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله